I have a very distinctive moment. I was in grade 10 English class, so I was 15, and I had a wonderful teacher. Her name was Gwen Weinberg. She used to get us at the beginning of class to write a kind of journal for 10 minutes. And I wrote a poem, and it just came out, and it was a complete poem. And she would walk up and down the aisles reading over their shoulders of her students, reading what they had written. And she came to my desk and read the poem I'd written, and started to cry. That moment of affecting somebody like that was really made a big impression on me. It was a powerful thing for me. To move somebody to tears also was kind of a thrill. You have to have people who can read your writing and, friendship aside, just talk, the straight dope with you and say, okay, this is working, this isn't. Very pragmatic, very, like artisans talking about it. It's just the craft, But my opinion is that so far, and I would stick to this, is not to show anybody anything until you've gotten to the end of the first draft. Because you're susceptible to suggestion, and I another thing I've got a bit of a soapbox about is trying to write at least the first draft in a vacuum, or because I think the most interesting thing I can do is go out on a limb as a writer, and as soon as you introduce somebody into the room, it's hard to do that. So I try to preserve the kind of hermetically sealed space of a first draft. And also, again, going back to that idea that one of the things that you encounter in a novel or in writing is somebody else's consciousness, the way they see the world, what their tics are, what their quirks are, in the same way that, when Van Gogh looked at a landscape, he saw it thus, and when Matisse looked at a landscape, he saw it thus. When Tolstoy writes a character walking into a room, he sees it in such a way, and it's different from another writer. So I'm trying to write, how Christine Pountney sees the world, not because I'm important, but because I'm singular, and what I want to know is how different is the world to me than it is to somebody else. Because I think there are tons of similarities. The similarities we take for granted, because we communicate and and people's lives in a strange way are very similar. So I kind of take that for granted, and I'm more interested about how they differ.